1,300 feet above the river. Okay, and not only that, you know, this is winter. Okay, and so they couldn't see no other way to get here, and so it took them 6 weeks to blast the space big enough to get a wagon through up at the top.
My gosh.
And this is what they came down. They brought 83 wagons down that. 45 degrees to the top goes to 25 degrees towards the bottom.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. So they brought 250 people down that, 83 wagons, and then their livestock came down after that. But it's just, to get a wagon down, you had 2 horses because you had to be able to steer the wagon. 2 horses out front, you'd chain the back wheels, and you'd put 8 to 12 guys on ropes behind it.
Oh,
A little bit of sheer terror. Since it was so steep up at the top, the kids and women pretty much just kind of went down on their keisters. You know?
wow.
And that's how they made it down, 1,300 feet to the river. The river was 300 feet across, so 2 guys that had lived up here in Escalante had also built ferries before, so that while they were blasting, it took 6 weeks to blast the space big enough to get through. And this is black powder. There's no dynamite.
Okay. So it took longer?
Yeah, so it took the 6 weeks to blast the space just to get the wagon through. Right. And so once they got that, while they were doing that, these other guys went down, built a raft that they could get 2 wagons on at a time. And so,
wow.
And so they were building that while they were blasting. And so just after Christmas, that's when they hit it down.
Wow.
And across, and then it just got worse. Because Cottonwood Canyon was fine, but then you had to go up Cottonwood Hill. So this is the actual route they took. They had to get the wagons up that. Then the next section was a chute over, and it was kind of a natural half pipe, so they didn't have to do blasting there. They did have to do some blasting here to get the wagons up. And then they got up on top of Gray Mesa. To come off Gray Mesa, they had to blast, make some switchbacks down through there, some dugways. And then after that, you had the clay hills. They had to come off the clay hills. It's about 1,000 feet. So then they are up against this Grand Gulch. And the problem with that, it was just too many sections of it. You know, they just couldn't keep going up and down. And so they went all the way around it, clear up by natural bridges, and then they came down through the cedar forest, which they had to cut a road through. Came out into Comb Wash because of Comb Ridge here. This is Comb Ridge. They're on this side of it, and they couldn't get up that because that's over 1,000 feet. And so and that goes from Blanding, up the Blue Mountains, all the way down into Arizona. So they got down into Comb Wash, and they thought, well, where the river cuts through, we can probably get through there, you know. So you get down here, now it's March. High water.
High water.
High water, so the river was right up against the cliff banks. So their only option was to go up the end of Comb Ridge, and that's San Juan Hill right there.
Oh my gosh.
Took 14 horses to pull 1 wagon up at a time. 83 wagons went up that.